Mr. Krishnamoorthi for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Very good. Well, first of all, I wanted to point out some very interesting aspects of the SBA OIG report. Mr. Ware, I noticed in the report, my staff and I noticed that at one point you said almost 320,000 potentially fraudulent COVID-19 EIDL loans, totaling almost $25 billion were dispersed to people with the same email addresses. You give one example where one applicant with one email address received 10 loans in the name of 10 different bathroom renovation companies in one city. And when you went back and looked, you couldn't find any of those bathroom renovation companies in that city. Instead, you were able to find that the email address was for a burrito restaurant, which was located in that city. Just a basic question, what are we doing to make sure that folks can't apply for multiple loans from the same email address?
Well, that's one of the things that we've been working hard with the Office of Disaster Assistance to fight against. And the Office of Disaster Assistance has assured us that they have a secondary review process in place to make that very assurance. We have not verified or validated that that is in place and working as yet, but they have not provided that information to us as yet.
Let me jump in because I think that's really important. I think the American people don't want multiple loans to be applied for from one email address or from one IP address, meaning probably one computer, or from one physical address. And so these EIDL loans, I think, deserve a lot more scrutiny, and I hope that you are going back to check that these EIDL loans don't come from the same address, the applications. Can you rule out, given the staggering potential amount of fraud in the EIDL program, that there was any coordination between applicants and insiders at the SBA?
No, I cannot rule that out because I know for a fact.
I'm gonna be going through rapid fire series of questions here. Can you rule out that any foreign actors or entities received money through the EIDL program?
No.
Can you rule out that I'm from Illinois, so I have to ask this question. Can you rule out that any deceased people received money through the EIDL program?
No.
Can you rule out that people under the age of 18 receive money from the EIDL program?
No.
What claims are being made that you're aware of under the False Claims Act, also known as key TAM, related to the EIDL program?
I won't be able to speak to any of those that's active. Many of those are sealed.
Let me ask Mr. Horowitz, our expert probably on this issue of whistleblowing and so forth. Is there anything that can be done to encourage folks that know about fraud within these programs, maybe even people at the SBA right now, to come forward and make a False Claims Act claim or a key TAM claim related to what I perceive to be just staggering amounts of fraud in the EIDL program?
Absolutely, Congressman. First, come to our website, pandemicoversight.gov. They'll see a link there to report electronically to us. They can get in contact with us through other means, but electronically is the best way to do it. We'll get on top of it, and we'll make sure that whatever IG has jurisdiction over the program they care about, we'll get it to them, and we'll work together with them.
And let's educate people who might be viewing this. When we refer to False Claims Act or key TAM claims, the claimant, through a confidential process, if the claim is validated, could receive between 15 and 30% of the recovered amounts, right?
That's correct.
So, Mr. Horowitz, do you know how much has been recovered overall through your investigations, your collective investigations into fraud in the EIDL program, and then separately into PPP program?
I don't know separately as to those two programs. I know it's tens of millions of dollars overall. But I
But do
could
you
get
see
back to you on individuals.
that's an incredibly small portion of the sizable potential amount of fraud, right?
At this time, it is, but I would just make sure that the public is aware and assure all of you. Obviously, prosecutions take time, and we are using the tools we have, whether it's criminal prosecution, civil, forfeiture, and by the way, suspension and debarment for entities that are here, that aren't fraudulent entities themselves. They're risking their ability to do business with the government going forward, period.
Thank you. I yield back.